All right, folks. So we are not going to put Andy in the orange because the terrain is orange and it's just really, really tough to follow. We're going to put Andy in the red. Andy here from Austria has had good results against Dogao. I would consider him the underdog here, but he has had good results against Dogao. He's gone for the Chinese, which I think is probably the #1 civ on this map as well. So good stuff as far as FreakinAndy's concerned. Far away, then we have Koreans for Dogao. Maybe he was hoping that they would end up being close together. He did walk past the TC for Andy, so he will know that Andy is there. Koreans was not the pick that I was expecting here for Dogao. Pretty standard. Players are going to have 2 or 3 villagers on a mill on all the food, and then they're going to build the TC with the other 6, as this is a 9-villager start. Dogao's got a bunch of goats here, headed back towards his TC. But Chinese gets the extra 3 vills. And now, you might have looked at the top left and see that Andy's actually in the negative for food. On the 9-villager start, Chinese would then get 12, right? And so basically, long story short, balance reasons. On good events with 9 villagers, you need to give Chinese negative food. It's kind of a fun little fact. But on Bedouins, the food is so prevalent that you can produce so quickly. And you're going to maintain that 3-villager lead, which is why the civ is absolutely busted on this map. And it's why I'm surprised Dogao didn't ban it. We didn't look at the draft. Let's add the flags. Everyone wants the flags. And now, to the color situation with these two. Now, I think they are beyond the drama. There's no issues. Okay, they're past it. They've all moved on. But we casters, we have to tell stories in the Dark Age. So, I don't remember which tournament it was, but it was maybe a year ago now, and these two were playing against each other in a 1v1 game, a 1v1 tournament. And it is known that Andy, he picks the color orange, but he actually plays with the color orange on his screen. So he doesn't pick orange and then switch his color to blue with team colors like a lot of people do and have that color just to annoy people. No, that's his color, and he actually likes to play with it, okay? Well, Dogao created the lobby on this particular day, and Dogao, he chose gray. And Andy saw that he picked gray, and gray is another annoying color to see in the game. And Andy goes, do you have to pick gray? I actually like to see orange, and I know you're just going to put team colors on and make yourself blue. And Dogao was probably laughing to himself because he's like, I got you, bro. I know you like to play in orange. I'm free to pick whatever color I want. And gray is really hard to see, and it's kind of annoying, which is why Andy complained about it. So long story short, Andy asked him to change his color. Dogao said, no, I'm not changing my color. I'm free to choose whatever I want. Andy then said something come on, man. Can you please change it, blah, blah, blah. And there was a little bit of back and forth, and then I think Dogao said, go cry to your mama. And then they played the series. So it was to start it off, there was a go cry to your mama. That's rare for AoE too, right? Most of the real dramas behind the scenes, we never get a glimpse at it. I can never talk about it. All that stuff. And then Dogao lost. I think Dogao lost. I forget. I think Dogao lost. So anyways, that beef is a dead beef. It's not even a thing anymore. Dogao chose blue. He didn't pick gray again. There was no arguments. They all got over it. But I find that funny, and I wanted to retell the story, okay? So it's literally, they're past it. It's not an issue. It wasn't ever really a big deal anyways. It was really cheap drama, but I just find that so funny. So, Dogao picked Koreans here for what reason? Guys, look at the res collected right now. If anyone gets Chinese on Bedouins, the opponent didn't draft correctly, okay? That's extreme. But Dogao should be going to cry to his mama about the fact he didn't ban Chinese. Look at the difference in res collected. This civ is insane on this map. On other maps, there's more pros and cons. But because the food is so accessible, it's just so freaking good. So it's a little anti-hype for me to just say, it's over. Because it's not. But Dogao's going to have a lot of work to do in order to even this out. It's just insane. You should never, ever, ever, ever be up against Chinese on Bedouins. T90 with so many goats, isn't the Civ with the goat bonus good? Not really, because sheep is way slower than villagers on shorefish. And there's 300 food per shorefish. So I actually don't even know if the goats are going to be taken by Dogao. I mean, I'm sure they will to an extent, but... I think Dogao, he was hoping they would be really close together and that he could go heavy spears and skirms to make it messy, but they're kind of far apart. He's walling up. Dogao used his forward villagers to make the military buildings. And Andy is going to dock? Oh my god, he's going to make fishing ships here, bro. Well, I mean, Andy's done it before. I've seen him go dock on maps where you would never expect anyone else to do it. And he's a Black Forest guy, so he wants to add fishing traps there eventually. I would say that that is a potential way to lose this game. Because that's pretty big investment. So I think I could make some arguments that maybe that's a little too greedy. But that's how Andy plays, man. Andy plays with greed. If you don't kill him, you die later on in the game. And that's just another thing he can do in this situation. He is fully walled. The scouts are now coming in to snipe a couple skirms. Dogao has not been able to disrupt Andy at all. Full walls coming up. Almost 1,000 more resources here for Andy. Now, guys, other 9 Villager Star tournaments have actually not even given Chinese the negative food. And, like, people are still letting Chinese slip through the draft. On other maps, at least, with the negative food, it's somewhat balanced, but... Dogao will see the dock, and Dogao's going to be like, are you kidding me? You're docking? Docking on this map? What is this? Andy's playing safe. Andy's scouts are going over to harass. And Dogao isn't even walled, bro. He's not even walled. Not fully walled yet. Amazing start for Andy. Still hasn't killed anything. But he doesn't have to. Here comes Dogao, the tower this now. And Andy might counter tower this. He won't want to lose his pawns. Spears and skirms are cheaper for the Koreans. So spears and skirms and towers, a pretty good play for them. There's the tower for Dogao. Scouts running around from Andy, and he might want to steal some of those goats there. Sorry, guys. Need to double check something on my phone. Tower is going to be going up. Let me just double check. And tower's up, sorry. I don't think this dock was needed. Like, the fishing eco didn't actually add anything, really. He's already so far ahead, he can add farms, and things can be still more than fine. And he hasn't actually killed the unit yet. But he's on the way to Castle Age. Dogao's nowhere close, and Andy needs to be careful here. Those scouts have actually been tracked very nicely by Dogao. One thing Andy doesn't have here is stone in his base. So that could be something Dogao uses to his advantage. But 1,400 resources behind is pretty crazy, and Andy's on the way to the next stage already here. Yeah, I think Andy, he docked this pond because you can only dock once the fish are gone. And he didn't take the shorefish from this pond yet, so... Just some walls from Andy, just hanging out. If I were to describe Andy's playstyle, it would be make as little army as possible. And boom. And that's essentially how he's played this one. Also, look at the walls from Dogao. Crazy walls. But once he's walled, he will have a lot of space in there to work with. Andy weakens the tower. Andy will just shoot the tower down. Now he still has the defensive tower. And Dogao is just... Like, Dogao's trying to use the market to click up here, but yikes, this is brutal, man. Andy's gonna leave. This has just not been a very hype game. Maybe it's because I'm a bad caster, but hard for me to hype this one up with how big a lead Andy has right now. It just happens. Andy's just played a perfect game. And Dogao has not really been able to find opportunities to punish it here. A couple walls will come up there, and Andy's going to add some Fire Lancers now. Mixed in with maybe the Light Cav upgrade to engage against this. And Andy taking a boar and just waiting for a town center. Is he going to TC right on the range? Between the stones and golds would actually be really good. You don't see that every day. Normally it's a TC on wood. Okay. Well, that's fine too. Dogao 2 minutes away from Castle Age. Knight, Scouts, Fire Lancer for Andy. I think he's soon going to collapse on this. Andy will not want this to lead to anything positive for Dogao. You can't let these units get in. I think you need to trap this. Yeah, he'll repair this last second. I mean, it's a couple vills, spears and skirms. It shouldn't break through that quickly. And Dogao he doesn't know what to do with these vills except just stay here and do some damage. And here we go. Andy will have a couple Fire Lancers in the mix. Fire Lancers didn't actually hit the Spearmen, I think. I think they hit something else. There's not any upgrades on the Scouts. But the Spearmen are dead. The Skirms will die. The Villagers are exposed. Light Cav upgrade is in. And Dogao's going to lose these vills. You can't wall out from Lancers that eventually have that ranged attack. So a game that has already been bad for Dogao just gets worse. Andy on 2 TCs. And Andy with the perfect start. Okay, I have a question for chat. For those that have been around a long time and remember the old days with Bedouins, does it bother you when a chatter says, "Isn't this just African clearing?" Basically, I'm asking if you're old and grumpy. I'm curious. Because I always feel the need to explain. Well, actually, African clearing, was inspired by Bedouins. Okay, a couple people said yes. Yeah, well, technically, Bedouins was first, guys. Which is true. Which is true. Just like Four Lakes is, the devs version of Cross. So it is kind of a shame there's that little bit of confusion. But I think they were just being hyper protective of someone saying a map was stolen. So they didn't want any issues. And similar reasons they've added a chat filter, which may or may not work well. Second TC now for Dogao to catch up. Third TC for Andy to get an even bigger lead. And Andy is just so far ahead right now. So far ahead. And Dogao can't do anything. Dogao's window is slowly closing. He needs mass something, and he's going to try mass Cav Archers right now. I actually like Korean Cav Archers. I think it's very sneaky. Because you can make so many of them, but the lack of HP becomes a problem due to the lack of bloodline, so. What's the difference between this and African clearing? Very minor differences. Again, for the old farts in my chat, the important difference will be that Bedouins was the OG. You have 300 food per shorefish here instead of 200 for African clearing. There's not as many African trees, so there's slightly less wood. There's boars instead of rhinos and elephants, so there's slightly less hunt. But, I mean, it's all pretty much the same concept. Technically minor differences, but no real major changes. No real major tweaks. And we have a pause now. Andy's eco is still flying. 3 town centers. He hasn't really been able to add the fish trap, so the fishing ships didn't add too much, but again, just focusing on the farms and the shore fish is probably fine. Koreans actually have the better late game here, though, so if Dogao could somehow hold on, not sure what just happened there, but if Dogao can just hold on, wait, what? And this is about where I dropped? 30 villager lead soon for Andy. Dogao CA raiding like a madman right now. Siege push starting. Cav Archers. Still only 13 of them. 31 villager lead for Andy, who now drops a castle there. And we are at live time now, where Andy does still maintain that 30 villager lead. So yeah, thank you for your patience there, guys. Sorry the game kicked me out. But this does not look much better for Dogao here, does it? Andy's got a defensive castle. Andy's economy is even better than it was before. Andy's attack ground was absolutely dirty there. Game seems very slow now all of a sudden. But Dogao is just like 3 or 4 steps behind here. Trying to do what he can. He'll try a castle here defensively. War wagons can be a really good unit against Chinese. So having the castle for that could be nice. But I think once Andy sees that castle, he's going to think about Imp. And when you already have a castle here and you have an economy this good, you can balance out your resources and click up pretty quickly. Maybe even go for a second castle and then double castle trebuchet production. Fire Lancer was a really nice addition for Andy. I don't know if he made too many of them or if he made the perfect amount, but he didn't really have to invest into a lot of upgrades. And the unit is really good stats for what it is. And you don't have to go pikeman. You don't have to research and upgrade like you do for pikeman, right? It's just accessible in Castle Age, so. There's a bunch of factors that make a unit good in Age of Empires. But one of the most important ones that people don't really like mention a lot is just how accessible it is, right? That's what makes the Grenadier very solid in early Castle Age. You don't have to get an upgrade, and the stats for a unit you don't have to get an upgrade is really, really good. Same with the Fire Lancer. A lot of the issues with getting to certain units in AoE is just because of how many techs you have to get there, or how many upgrades makes a unit strong, right? Do you think Dogao should have made his own Fire Lancers? Yeah, but what would the Fire Lancers have actually accomplished? You can't really kill villagers with Fire Lancers easily. He needs counter damage. So Cav Archers felt really good. It's mobile on a big map. They're good against Fire Lancers. And Dogao loses both of his rocket carts there. I don't think Dogao made any mistakes except just allowing Chinese through in the draft. And according to our base, Koreans was his very last pick. So I think he just is treating this as a throwaway. It's just kind of a shame, though. And he also was a bit unlucky. He wanted the players to be much closer. And they were kind of far away. War wagons are good. War wagons are actually credible. So that could be his way back. Andy needs to be careful here. Because he needs a position to make the trebs. I guess as far as range units are concerned, Chukanu aren't horrible here. KB Jelly, what's up? Says longtime AoE player, never took it this serious and getting back into the game from watching your stream. Thanks for the content. Yo, salutes in chat for KB. Welcome. Thank you. Yeah, this game isn't the closest. So I'm not at my highest energy right now, but there will be some much better games to come in this series. I think Andy just needs to wait for Imperial Age to come in. He's got, what, 5 TCs now? 4 TCs? Feels like 5. As long as Andy plays a little bit patient here, he should be in a good spot. Cav Archers are starting to break through here, though. Andy's kind of panicking with his tower. Chukunu are coming over to defend there. I think Andy will lose his fish. Andy will lose his monk. Dogao finding some good engagements. Dogao is now on the way to Imp. And Andy, he does have Eco exposed back here. But he can be back on his golds. He'll quick wall the wood line. That's sick. Actually, Dogao doesn't even have ballistics. So he's going to miss a lot of these volleys, and the Chukunu can kill this. And Andy can actually trap these as well. Yep, just one house and this army's trapped. War wagons are good, but now you're up against Imp upgrades, Dogao. That's not going to be good enough. Andy defends. Andy now massing trebuchets on the front to push this castle. And it feels like the castles are key for Dogao to survive because he needs the war wagons. But this second castle from Andy wasn't where he wanted it. He wanted it here so he could protect the trebs with it. So Dogao might be able to snipe this Treb and start to delay things a little bit. Andy is bringing all of his army forward to protect this. But yeah, the rocket cart is there now. Rocket cart's actually attacking the monks. But now it's attacking the Treb. Rocket cart goes down, though, to the war wagons and the rocket cart. And now Dogao will go for the next Treb. But at what cost, right? He's still a minute from him. He still hasn't taken the Treb. Wagons are kind of pitiful against Trebs. Andy's got 32 canoe. He's got access to every single resource. Has a 25 villager lead. He'll have 4 Trebs here. Dogao's only on 1 castle. This is a warm-up game for Dogao at this point. There's not much he can do to recover here. He does have another castle up here, excuse me. But he's going to be on 1 castle. Another castle comes up. This tower will be shot down. We now have keep for Andy. So he can keep the map control with the towers. I know, very, very creative of me to make that joke. Andy will kill some vills here. That's good. But Andy's just continuing to push through the middle. And can just drop more and more keeps. He's actually out keeping the Koreans right now. I mean, this would be annoying. Having not walled this is going to be a problem. The wagons are much stronger than they were last time. But if you're going to take losses there, you just have to push Dogao at this point. Punish Dogao for going into your base instead of defending, and he's doing that. TCs are going down. Towers and ranges are going down. Dogao is trying to get to skirmishers right now. Korean skirmishers are fantastic. But Andy's got rocket carts here to help against that. More house walls for Andy. Dogao didn't have ballistics or imp upgrades last time. He's getting that now. Andy will take losses here. But he will have keep with arrow slits. So that might be enough to take care of those wagons. And GG. Alright, so Andy takes the first game. And Andy's gone for the Mongols here on a map with a lot of hunt. Now that hunt is in the middle. And usually players are coming to the middle here to push the hunt both directions. Now, Dogao might want to stop the Mongol player from taking the extra hunt. His scout comes forward. They're going to find each other. If I'm Byzantines here, I am definitely taking that fight every single time. There's a 50-50 chance you win or lose that fight, and Byzantines will want that coin flip. If you lose your scout here, it's pretty massive. And yeah, Andy's Mongols, he wants the hunt. And Dogao's like, I'm not letting you get that. I'm not going to let you get the deer. Now, Dogao, of course, can't push his own deer. So that slows himself down. But that might be worth it here against the Mongols. Andy still does get that hunt bonus from the 2 boars in his base. So it's not like he has 0 hunt bonus. But for now, he can't push the deer. And Andy actually walks around Dogao now. And is going to push a deer from here. Looked like he was thinking about it. Now I think he thinks he's got an opportunity to push the deer. And here he goes. And now he sees Dogao is there. And he's like, damn it. Damn it. I want the deer, man. That's funny. I like this. I actually especially like this with Incas or Aztecs or Mayans. Because the eagle is stronger than the scout. Doing this with Byzantines is still fine, though, because Byzantines can get to feudal age, spam those cheap spears and skirms. It gets really tough for the opponent, but they're just slower to feudal age than most civs. I love the build order here from Andy, though. Andy's not thinking about going scouts. Andy's already building a barracks. So FreakinAndy's freaking plandy here is to go for man-at-arms. And I actually think if you're going to go man-at-arms, you could also just run to the middle and take the hunt and build a mill. Which is kind of what the original strategy was on this map. Players have gotten away from that. I think Dogao saw the barracks, though. Yeah, so that should tell Dogao if the barracks is up at this time, he should know exactly what's happening. And here comes Andy now to the middle hunt. Nothing Dogao can do about that. Remember, Dogao also didn't have his own deer. His scout has been forward for so long. He's actually a little late with some of these sheep as well. But he's building a house over here. He will get those 2 geese. There's the sheep. He's still kind of okay. But he is not stopping Andy from taking the hunt. But Andy's build is pretty tight here. He's not on gold yet, so man-at-arms might not be doable. It looks like he just actually added 1 militia. And 1 militia might be better than 3 militia in terms of forcing reactions. Like, well, sorry, not better, but Dogao's going to have to respect that it could be multiple. You can invest less into the attack and then be okay with the results. Pushing in the deer in towards the villagers. Well played from Andy. Andy now sending villagers to gold, and there is a second villager. I could tell chat really enjoyed all my commentary in Dark Age because you guys are really, really a big fan of how this has played out. All talking about the strategy, not talking about other shenanigans. I don't think this is the last match today. No, there should be more sets. Should be more games. Should obviously get closer as well. I like Andy's adaptations. He definitely wasn't planning on building the mill in the middle. This is absolutely perfect. Wow, he's actually going to build a tower there. Which Dogao should be able to see because Dogao's Byzantines. But Dogao has already started to place a tower on his wood line because he's expecting fast man-at-arms, fast archer follow-up. That tower pushes Dogao off that food. And then Dogao doesn't have a lot of other food to work with here. So Dogao obviously will have to rely mainly on farms. That's an interesting tower for Andy. I don't hate it. But did he see the tower from Dogao? Okay, he did. Also, can you wall in this tower? Because if you can't wall in the tower, I'm not sure I like it long term. Normally, you want to fully wall in the tower so they can't batter it down, but it looks like there's a little spot of buildable terrain surrounded by unbuildable terrain. Okay, you can place a house there. That helps. And Dogao's just looking a little rusty here. Making some skirms. Oh, he's actually going to escape back here where there's 4 extra bushes. That will help ease his food eco into mid-feudal. Also mixing in the farms probably should be fine. And he has done no damage, really. But he's got the hunt in the middle, which is key. So I think Andy will be very happy with this for now. Also, he got double bid-axe with the man-at-arms. Now, it seems like every time this stuff happens, people never find it. But that house from earlier is going to make Andy think, why is there a house there? No one walks out there to build a house, and he will see the villagers. Wow. The wild thing about this is the villagers that went out here did not build this house. That was the villager who found the sheep earlier. It's kind of funny how that plays out. I think Andy would never have scouted this had he not seen that house. He would have just looped around. But he knows about it now. Dogao does have some army here. Dogao might just want to fight back with Vills. And so Andy just being patient. Andy has 4 farms. Andy has berries. Andy still has hunt. The hunt is getting less efficient, though. The villagers are going to have to move around a bit more. And Dogao's still making lots of skirms. So this is exactly what Byzantines want. They want 0 KD at this stage of the game. They'll take a positive KD, but as long as they don't get smashed in the face, they can hang with anybody. And that's also how I would describe Dogao as a player. Like, Dogao doesn't really thrive on like these elite level timing attacks. You don't see him go man-at-arms. You don't see him go forward. He's just kind of chill, and he's just super solid. But Andy... Oh, really close there, but Andy sacrifices his scout, doesn't kill the villager. And now his tower is getting battered down because he doesn't have his man-at-arms in position. And back to what I said, like, this tower wasn't walled in. And I don't actually think you can wall it in because it's a weird area of the terrain. Nice shot from Dogao here. Would you guys be interested in a show match or like a mod where villager efficiency was based on their HP? So that 1 HP vill, for example, that was saved. This villager is 100% efficient. Or I guess, you know, it's as efficient as all the rest of the eco. But with a mod, you could make it so villagers that are weak don't work as efficiently. We would have to ban the poles because villagers regenerate. But I think it's a fun concept. I don't even know how big of a difference it would make. I think it'd be fun for a test. This is crazy right now. Andy's actually killed 2 villagers. Andy's about to kill 3 villagers. He's about to kill 4 villagers here. He didn't lose a single vill. That's crazy. Andy will take that. Like, that tower has more than paid for itself now. He doesn't have the army that Dogao has, though. And Dogao's making the cheaper army with Byzantine. So this could get tricky. We see a stable in the middle for Andy. We see another mill now on the hunt. And Dogao is not expecting the scouts there. Now, he can add the spears. He already does have one, but that's a nice jump there for Andy. Gets some kills. And Andy keeping that slight lead, but it's slight. That's crazy from Andy, though. A lot of players just lose that tower, and they don't really, like, fight back. But Andy loves the Vill Wars. Those are engagements where he thrives. I love how Andy has played so far today. It's been really good. I like how Dogao's played this game, too. Like, taking the extra berries, really paying attention to that. Lots of farms. His food eco is fantastic. So, I also really like the tower. Also like what he's going for back here with a long-term wall to protect the golds. So, with a wall there, the gold's pretty safe. I've been in this situation a lot of times where you add scouts with skirms and you think scouts and skirms beats just skirms, but then you have 3 or 4 spearmen from Dogao and you have problems. Andy looking for those vills right now. If he wants more scouts here, though, he has to go through Dogao's TC, which is kind of tough. Or the whole way around the outside. And he sees the vills, but Dogao tracks it with the spearmen. No one has fletching yet. No one is fletching yet. No blacksmith upgrades whatsoever. Not even a blacksmith. Oh, as I say it, there's the blacksmith. And Andy should be building one here soon as well. Andy's still taking the hunt in the middle. Resources are looking nice to click to Castle Age. Is he too greedy here, though? Does he need to get more upgrades first? The scouts over here aren't accomplishing anything. He might wish they're in the middle. Classic Andy. He says, no upgrades. I want to mark it for Castle Age. Classic Andy behavior. But it can work out. Here comes Dogao towards the middle. Quite a few spears and skirms. These villagers are in a really rough spot. Andy actually placing a lumber camp there. Is Dogao going to find them? I think he sees the deer, so he should be looking. He should find them. And Andy will click up to Castle Age faster than Dogao. But the army situation is kind of awkward for him. Actually, Dogao's spears are completely out of position, though. Yeah, Dogao's spears are not where they needed to be at all. Now he'll have to add more, and now the clock is ticking a little bit. Andy's micro seems superior right now. Andy's playing really confident. No blacksmith upgrades, but you wouldn't know it. And he's actually chopping this open. If you chop this open, then you can freely access the middle, which is kind of good, kind of bad, depending on if you get raided or not. A bloodlines for Andy, but a fletching would still be really nice here. It's surprising to me he doesn't have a blacksmith yet. He's adding that now. Bisharno says the tower wasn't even hurting him. Why commit? Well, it just looked like a tower he could take for free. Like that, when I saw that tower, I thought very easy to take down. There's no army there to protect it. I don't think he was expecting Andy to be able to kill villagers there. But Andy has somehow killed 5 villagers in this game. And again, Dogao, like his army is just out of position. It's been kind of sloppy here. He's lost lots of units unnecessarily. The previous game, he was behind so fast because of the civ difference. But here, it should be a little bit closer here. But Andy will take every spearman. Bloodlines is already in. Armor's on the way for the scouts. And Andy, who will already be 2 minutes faster to Castle Age. Pathing's kind of affecting him here, but he just pushes Dogao all the way back into his base. Well played, FreakinAndy. And he doesn't have a single blacksmith upgrade. Now he gets armor. But Dogao had way more army, and he just couldn't get the micro to work out. Is Dogao about to build another mill on berries here? That's interesting. Andy will build a TC on the gold. And he will also build a mill on the berries. Wow, lots of mills this game. Lots of military and lots of mills. Love to see it. Siege Workshop now from Andy. Look at all the vision and coverage he has in the middle right now. Long term, this is where most of the stone and gold is, so having the middle control is key. Andy with confidence will dive, kill another villager. He's now bringing in Lancers too. But he has to respect Dogao's Spearman and the tower. At least with the skirmishers. He'll run around now. Andy's going to be hunting for those villagers in the back. He will show up here. He will not see the vills. Will he go to these berries then? Dogao can see this from a mile away. So Dogao's like, please don't come check this. But Andy has always checked the other area. And he's now here. And the scouts are going to find vills. The scouts have armor. The scouts have bloodlines. There's also lancers over here forcing quick walls. Andy's playing amazing right now. Damn. Dogao's got his eco idol everywhere. He lost 2 or 3 more villagers there. Andy even saves the scouts to go heal them up. And is now blocking with the lancers and gets another villager killed. Man. This is smooth from Andy. To save the scouts as well, to go heal them up is great value. And now knows that it's going to be camels for Dogao. Which is still really dangerous. Byzantine camels are a great counter to all of this. Still nothing on stone for Andy. Where did those scouts go? The scouts are coming to the middle. But Andy's adding monks, too. So he'll have monks to convert camels, monks to heal. Technically, though, if Dogao gets elite skirm, the skirms can snipe the monks, and then the camels can kill everything else. So I've seen a lot of games lost here against Byzantines in this exact scenario. They get the lead economically, but can they hold against all the cheap army? Especially because Andy doesn't have siege. But Andy is probably the better monk player, and he does have his own monks. The skirmishers don't have the upgrades. Skirmishers just get pushed right back. Andy with confidence every time. He converts a camel. And Dogao will choose to dive, but I don't think he can engage there. I think Andy's done the right thing to add his own camels in front. I would not be surprised to see Andy put a bunch of vills on stone soon. Right now, he's just 3 town center economy, but I think pooling villagers to build a castle for both of them could make sense soon. Micro is just so good for FreakinAndy. The Lancers go through to snipe the monk. They'll miss out on that. That maybe wasn't the best, but he'll convert here. Camel to his side. He has his own camels, and Dogao doesn't have any skirms anymore to protect his monks, and he won't get another conversion if those skirmishers get the kill. The monk has actually healed up right away. And now the monk will go for conversion again, but he gets hit by the lancers. Another monk will get hit by the lancers, and Andy's holding now. Guys, Andy's not only playing well, he's playing with confidence in every single engagement. Like some of these, sometimes it's very clear when a player feels they're the underdog. They don't see opportunities and take them, but Andy's been making opportunities for himself every single game. This is crazy. Game 1 had a lot to do with the draft, but this game here, I mean, you could argue it's a draft thing as well. Mongols are pretty good here, but Andy's used it perfectly. 20 villager lead now. Dogao just can't catch a break. There's been very few positives for him. And now 4 TCs for Andy. It's crazy. Loves his town centers. Still nothing on stone. Maybe this TC will start to send villagers to stone. Like right now would be a good time. Make me look smart, Andy. You got some idols? Aha! There we go. I'll take that. It just feels natural at this point. I think this TC as well could be sending vills to stone. The only way you lose this is if you get castled. And he is potentially over booming, right? He's committing so much food to vills, and he doesn't have many camels and lancers now. But I guess he has the monks. And who needs to make army when you can just convert your opponent's army? That's the FreakinAndy motto. And there he goes. Mongol monks are not strong. Like, I don't even think they get sanctity. Yeah, they don't. So it's really a risky play. But he's just so good with them. Someone says, wow, who wins gets 50k. This is a qualifier for a 50k LAN event. So no. It's the main event is 50k. This is a qualifier for it. There is money involved in the qualifier, but it's not 50k. And whoever wins the main event of the LAN doesn't get 50k. They get a share of that, right? The event will be in China. It's hosted by LingYuan, who is the clan for a lot of the Chinese pros. And I asked Yo, I was like, who's the host here? I was like, is that you? He's like, yeah, kind of. It's sponsored by LingYuan sponsor, who is a private individual. That's what Liquipedia says. A private individual. Mysterious. So mysterious. Here you guys are asking your parents for a bigger allowance, and really the reason they won't do it is because they're sponsoring the LingYuan Cup. A Bodkin arrow on the way for FreakinAndy. For those Cav archers. Super heavy on stone now. And camel counterattack. Could kill some Vills, but not really. Because camels don't do great underneath town centers. Don't do great against Vills. They're pretty much only good against Cav. Where will Andy build this castle? He's bringing his Cav archers home now. And I think the castle just right here next to the mill would be the safest one. You don't really want anything but safe castles with the Mongols. You certainly don't want aggressive castles against Byzantines usually, because Byzantines have the stronger castles and can just go imp a lot faster than you. But considering all the stone and gold is here, yeah, you just need to protect this area. He's actually going to place it there, which I don't hate, because it disrupts Dogao's wood as well. And Andy just defended so well here, guys. Like the quick wall. It's not only that, but he gets the quick wall. He tracks with the army, but he also gets all of his eco back to work right away. He's also going to have relics on the map. Like, this is actually insane. He's playing so good. I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but I kind of want to know if Andy wins, who would he face? And think about what the bracket looks like for him, because he's qualified for LAN events before. And he's looked really sharp here, in my opinion. It could be a style thing. Okay, winner here faces Vinchester. Oh, that'll be a crazy series. Yeah, Vinch is my favorite in that qualifier bracket still, but I'm impressed with Andy. I think Andy's style can work against Vinch as well, because Vinch is a little bit more aggressive. If Andy can defend from it, if Vinch's attacks aren't perfect, could be very good. Imp is on the way for FreakinAndy with a 35 villager lead. And Dogao has found very little, if any, counter damage this game. Dogao will aim to click up to Imp himself. But more eco upgrades for Andy. Andy massing Mangadai now from one castle. It'll probably be 2 castles soon. If he wants to stay on Mangadai, he could just go Cav archers. Dogao just not... He hasn't been able to gain an edge at all so far this series. It's been like... Both of his Civ picks have been to play Spear and Skirm, and he hasn't had any eco bonuses. And then Andy has had eco bonuses, and he has used those eco bonuses perfectly. Game 1, I maintain, never should have ever happened. Like, that's just a drafting error, which should never, ever, ever happen when you have this many bans. But this game, just Andy masterclass. Killing those Vills on the tower was sick. The Scout Skirmisher Micro was fantastic. His eco has been super smooth. I just can't get enough of it, honestly. It really needs to be applauded for how well he's played. And Dogao, probably a little surprised himself. Another villager goes down. And Dogao making the switch into Elite Skirm now. And we'll probably lose a few more villagers here. But maybe find an answer to this. Once Andy's up, though, he'll have... Trebuchets on the way. He's got a second castle going up in the middle. More villagers coming for the stones and golds. Dogao just needs to wait for those skirms right now. With how Andy has played early, like, with how he's played both games in Feudal Age and Castle Age, Dogao just falls so far behind that even if Dogao starts to play better, he could just never recover. You just can't recover from this. I love that from Andy. That's sick. Love to see him at that level. And now Dogao He has to win 3 straight to have a chance to qualify. And Dogao's definitely, overall, in terms of his whole career, player you would have maybe favored here. But FreakinAndy's sharp. He's sharp, he's active, he's quick, he's creative. I loved his build. I loved his adaptation to the start with the deer. 32k res collected, more of every single resource. Way better trades throughout the entire game. And now we look to Dogao's draft for hope. So let's see. Let's see if I can cook with this draft here a little bit. I think it's doable. So, first 2 games haven't looked good for Dogao. I do think the draft is set up to win 3 straight. So he's got the strats available. It's not like I'm sitting here thinking he's completely clueless or completely without chances. I felt he was without chances game 1. Game 1 was bad. But sometimes you do factor that in because there's always going to be good civs on the other side. There's always going to be strats that are rough for you. Andy's going to steal some sheep right now. Are you kidding me? Andy's just so locked in, dude. Andy is so locked in. It's crazy. But yeah, I think that Dravidians here are absolutely fantastic. Nice water bonuses. It's a water map, and he's got the dock up already. Dogao also thrives on maps that incorporate water, too. It's a really hard map to play. You do start with the transport. That transport allows you to do some crazy things. I would be kind of shocked if we see anything but full water here from these 2, though. Andy loves his straight water, and Armenians would love to go galleys. Dogao loves his straight water and would love to go galleys. I think they're both going to think they can beat the other, if not with their skills, if they're with their civ strengths in a water v water battle. But maybe there will be a deviation from that. Maybe we will see a barracks. Brandon asking for Tata Margugu. We can do a Tata Margugu update. If this ends 3-0, we might hop into that. There's too many sets. But I wouldn't mind an update. Last I checked, I don't think I saw them in a game. But they should have played at least 1 game already. We'll just have to do spoilers today. Long term, there's these islands to take control of. This doesn't always happen, but when things get messy, especially if someone pressures you with land, you could maybe use your transport ship to send villagers to the outside, especially with a mule cart. And Andy, looking around now, this is where you're looking for that barracks. I feel like Dogao might be going for it, actually. Dogao definitely has more on wood than... and has slowed down the fishing ship. So Dogao should be going for the barracks. From my assessment. And there it is. But Andy is locked in right now, dude. Andy is locked in. Andy knows that this could happen. Dravidians have bonuses for it. And there it is. Andy sees it. Now, what do you do about it? You have to wall. But then you also want a second dock. You also want gold. Like, there's a lot of things you want to try here. I think what would be amazing for Dogao, looks like he's found some extra sheep, is if he can actually go man-at-arms into a forward dock. Not man-at-arm range, man-at-arm forward dock. So you get the man-at-arms here, and then your dock is directly on the opponent's face. I think that could be really strong, but that's really hard to do all at once, because you need the transport. I guess the dock is then delayed, actually. That's tough. Andy using the mule cart for the golds and also the wood. Andy dropping dock number 2. And sheep may be stolen here. It's not that big of a game changer if it is, but sheep may be stolen. There's not a lot of vills underneath Andy's TC to keep that protected right now. But Andy knows, guys. Andy saw the barracks. Andy knows this is coming. He's prepping the walls right now. Will he get the walls everywhere he needs? He also added... He went up to 5 fishing ships, so his eco will be very efficient. Andy's in feudal. Andy sees the scout. Andy's transport sees the transport from Dogao and is blocking it. He's blocking it. Dude, Andy's playing so good today. All these tiny details is just so cool to see. He needed a little bit more time. And he gave himself a little bit more time. Keep in mind, he's also adding galleys. Also keeping the TC running. But Dogao brought a Vill. And Andy spotted that tower foundation. Andy will go for a counter tower now. Does Dogao see the counter tower? He does. He will cancel his tower then. And Andy will stop building his tower because he doesn't want to waste it. Super heads-up play from both. Transport is there for Andy. He'll try and save that scout. That villager for Dogao is going to wander around elsewhere. And here go the galleys now for Andy. I love this transition, by the way. If you're getting pressured like this on land, you can't just go full galleys, I think. So I think going 2 galleys to snipe fish into fires is more than fine. Dogao is actually trying to go galleys himself behind this, which is a surprise to me. Normally, it's fires, because you can't afford that many galleys and that much time on your micro when the game's this crazy, but maybe I'm wrong. Dogao's eco completely untouched. That's the benefit of this strategy. Even if you don't kill anything, you force a lot of reactions and potentially mistakes. And there's one, and Dogao gets his reward. He gets a villager kill. Andy just on the wrong side there, unfortunately. Galleys are through, but Andy will now see that there's galleys from Dogao, and Dogao was patient there. Dogao waited around. Andy does see that archer range after researching Town Watch. So that's why he's adding the barracks now and will add the range. Can Dogao micro this like he's wanting to, or will it be tough to manage everything? For now, I think it's fine because he's not producing a lot of archers. His man-at-arms don't have to move. But it could get kind of complicated. Look at Andy now, looping the galleys around this way to be sneaky. And his fish have been working on the fish and also on the oysters, bringing in gold. Also, the archer that was there for Dogao got sniped by something. How did that archer die? I think it must have died to the TC. And multitasking's absolutely insane on this map. Like, you'll see a player kill one area and completely lose everything in the other. It's so common. But Andy's having some trouble there. This galley loop around is insane. If he ends up killing fish with those 2 galleys, while also defending everywhere else, I'll be so impressed. A skirmisher will die. Probably. No, it doesn't. The galleys are waiting back there, but Dogao's got everything grouped up here. I like the patient play. Doesn't give Andy that opportunity. And now, I don't know where these vills are going for Andy, but Andy's villagers are pathing to the other side. They're pathing to the other side, and it's all going wrong for Andy and Dogao. Able to kill 3 villagers now. And there's just not enough space to move around on this island, man. Like, it's so freaking hard to do anything when someone has built buildings here. I think he tried to click back to trees with his villagers, and he clicked a far tree, and so his units were pathing around into the army from Dogao. And now Dogao's galleys push forward. Andy's galleys are not in position. And I don't know if Andy can defend easily on water, but we'll see. He's certainly having a tough time on land, but he's holding. There is another dock here for Andy to produce more ships, but it's kind of disconnected from the rest of the group. That's probably just to save his fishing ships, if anything. And look at the resources for Dogao. My goodness. Perfectly balanced. This is crazy. How is he about to click up the castle age behind all this? Also, he didn't have to have fletching for the galleys this entire time. Fletching's not always needed when you're up against fires. You know, fletching obviously helps. But when you have the micro Dogao has, you don't always need that. Fletching is in for Andy, though, so Andy could start to take some good engagements. And Andy's starting to clear up things on land. I think Dogao will primarily focus on water now. See if Andy can stabilize. Andy's favorite building is a market. Well, if not a market, maybe a monastery. But market will certainly be helpful to buy his way up. Res collected, he's actually ahead. But it's pretty close. And being in Castle Age is a pretty big swing. And there's the 3rd dock now for Dogao. Andy's not even anywhere close. I don't think he can buy his way up with a market. Are you kidding me? He's got 50 food in the bank right now. But he's got to try. Or just find an engagement that feels worthwhile. And even just sniping a couple galleys or some fish could be nice. Dogao didn't kill any fish there, so he knows he needs to look somewhere else for that right now. Which is good heads-up play, and he'll actually find the galleys here from Andy, but Well, now Andy brings the rest of the group in. But now Dogao can access the fish. Yeah, now Dogao can access the fish, and Dogao's fish are still safe. It might not be, because here comes Andy. But Dogao will find all the fishing ships, which Andy really needs right now, and Dogao's going to be in Castle Age in 10 seconds here. Galley count's still close. There will also be a counterattack now from Andy, which is a couple skirms, but at least it's something. Dogao literally has nothing over here. So Andy's got his chances. His fish are still alive, I suppose. His galleys are being sneaky now. Dogao has some decisions to make on where he goes and what he does. The skirms on the gold, it feels like it's nothing, but it actually will eventually kill Vils, and he doesn't have an army here, so... Okay, Dogao just lost the fish. I feel like in the previous 2 games, Andy got ahead, and I never felt like there was any chance for Dogao to come back. But now, Dogao got ahead, and I feel like there's a chance for Andy to come back. Andy kills another Vil. He has to be so careful on his woodlines, though. Man, all of his woodlines are rangeable by ships. Navy is so important in Castle Age. But... Decent fight there for Andy. Skirms have taken Dogao off gold, so Dogao can't make a lot more Navy. What do you even do as Dravidians there? Do you make a stable for scouts? You need something. I guess you just move to this gold for now. Andy killing off more Navy. And Andy's 2.5 minutes away. And the galley count is getting pretty crazy right now. Andy has held on really well. Impressive. He's just been so stubborn. And these skirms have definitely contributed to this. Dogao's idle time's pretty crazy right now. Dogao has no fishing ships. His farming eco's not great. Villagers are just attacking the skirms because I guess that's all he has available. But more navies getting tossed away. He tries to dive. He's thinking he's in Castle Age and he needs an advantage, but he just loses more navy time and time again. These tiny little groups keep getting picked off. Dogao got Bodkin, but he can't get anything else resource-wise either. I mean, Andy's food eco is kind of crap, but he is adding fish now. And he can use the market because he has a lot on gold to buy the upgrades we're talking about. I think Andy might sweep this here, guys. Look at this. Look at this. Baiting the villagers into the galley fire now. Man, the counter-attacking skirms did so much. But the different groups from Andy and sneaking around with the fish and everything that he's done here is so difficult to do. Crazy. Okay, for the first time, he might actually lose on water. But he sails away. Skirmishers are still here. Dogao's still annoyed by them. Dogao's still not being able to kill them. Look at how many ships Andy has in queue right now. And Andy's up. Damn. Bodkin, obviously. War Galley. I would say full-on War Galley and Ballistics. Like, I don't think there's really a reason to try anything else. Navy ranges so much of the resources on this map, so... he doesn't actually have War Galley coming in yet either. Galleys being microed by Andy perfectly as expected. And he will make a transport. Also, Dogao made a transport. And Dogao transports to the outside to get some wood. And now Dogao's getting War Galley, but now Andy's getting War Galley. Crazy to me that Dogao's in Castle Age for a full 3 minutes, and he just didn't get War Galley. He could not afford it. I guess he didn't want to idle his TCs. I know he was pushed off gold, so he couldn't buy a lot, but he really needed that upgrade. I guess it ends up evening out in terms of galley numbers, right? They're both about at 15. Dogao's units are over here, finding a good fight. Andy's fish are over there. And now Andy is going to use... Oh, God, now he's brought Vils. Oh, he's going to Church Rush. He's dropping a Church on the gold. That's actually so good. That is so annoying, too. But yeah, the Church gets a free relic and fires arrows out of it. And now he's denying Dogao's gold. You can also garrison, of course, and just build a mule cart there. He's also building warrior priest to attack the Vils. Dogao's navy's still running around. I do not think Dogao ever expected that. And Andy into the transport immediately. He's bringing all of his Navy back home right now. Now, this house is actually catching some of those units on a patrol, so Andy needs to be careful there. Neither player has ballistics. These villagers are going to transport to an island. Hopefully not that island. Dogao has lost a dock, which hurts his production, but he still has more galleys. He is also making the siege, but the warrior priest can attack. So siege alone is not enough. And Andy has found some safe land down here. To take some wood, probably. Yeah, he really needs something somewhere else for wood. Transports for Dogao are getting pretty risky right now. And that warrior priest is in the wood line, and he really just needs to fight it back with vills, I guess. I don't know what else to suggest. That's annoying, though. And Andy can just make one more to take down the mangonel, too. Dogao's navy looping all the way home. The relic is in a forward church, but I don't think Andy's ever going to lose this church because the warrior priest can just take care of the siege. Like, that's incredible value. And the warrior priest is still killing villagers over here. And now ballistics is on the way for Andy. Yeah, I think Andy can take this. There's just too many things happening. Like, Andy's multitasking just seems so crazy, man. And he's been stubborn as well. Like, the warrior priests are being microed. They're not just being tossed to their deaths. I think if Andy has his navy on the backside with the warrior priest in the middle, Dogao basically can't take resources. Dogao can't keep up with this. This warrior priest has killed multiple vills. Only downside for Andy that I can think of is just the fact that he hasn't transitioned as many vills to the outer islands. That's the main thing. Also, his navy isn't all grouped together right now, so it's split up. Actually, it's not really. He's 12 here. He also is behind in the galley numbers, so yes, he has ballistics, but he's heavily outnumbered. The warrior priests even heal each other in the fight. I think Andy can tell that Dogao doesn't have ballistics. Demo for Dogao. Gets sniped. Does do some damage. But look at the warrior priests. The warrior priests are having a warrior feast on villagers right now. And Andy just backs away next to that church. Dogao obviously looking to pounce because Dogao is in a really rough spot. He's taking a lot of damage. He'll take the fight because he has the numbers. Andy's microing on the front, though, so Dogao will miss some volleys. Will Dogao miss enough volleys? It feels like Andy's micro is pretty good here. Taking advantage of the fact that Dogao doesn't have ballistics, and if it's a 50-50 fight, Andy will win the game. Dogao has to win the fight. He's not winning it. He's lost 16 eco this game. He's losing his navy as he retreats. Ballistics was such a big change. And the warrior priests are still on his eco, man. So annoying. So annoying. I mean, he is taking gold back here. But my goodness, man. Andy... It will just drop a second TC on the outside as well. The warrior priests have done way more than even I expected. Look how they heal each other up as they just stand there. It's hilarious. And the micro again from Andy. Perfect. He always has the runners on the front. He's so good. As the great Fat Dragon once said, so bang, so good. He said that about Max, but we can pretend he said that about Andy. So good, man. God, what a funny memory that was. Back in the old lobby days. MBL and Vivi playing all day. Great stuff, guys. Dogao probably just shook right now. He had such a big lead. FreakinAndy, though, just seems to be so well-rounded. He actually fell behind here, but his stubbornness to come back into this game, despite being so much later to cast age, was fantastic. It was the galley micro that did it. And also, of course, the follow-up with the church rush was sick. Now, do I think Dogao played his best Age of Empires today? Probably not. But do I think Andy played at an insane level? Absolutely. 4.5 minute difference there with the uptime. And he still was able to take better fights throughout the game. Have overall better resources collected. Just really creative. And as I said, the first two games, Andy was ahead and he stayed ahead. And there was no chance for Dogao to come back. Sign of a better player is then when that player then falls behind, they can turn it around. And that's what Andy did. So Andy's dangerous, guys. Watch out. He's good on all maps, too. He can play closed maps well. He can play hybrid well. Open maps, he can play solid.